All right. So here we're moving on to question number 4, and there was a typo when we were creating the worksheet. We actually need to find the length of each arc. And there will be some on the test that will ask you just to find the arc length or the length of each arc. So don't find the length of the sector, find the length of the arc. Okay, we know that length of the arc is just part of the circumference. So we're going to use circumference formula, 2 pi r. And like we said, it's part of it. So we're going to use that part fraction that we talked about, m over 360. Okay, so r over here in this case is 18, and m is 140. And I just noticed that because the radius here is 18, and this is the arc we're looking for, so this is 140. Okay, so L is 2 pi times 18 times 140 over 360. Right off the bat, I notice I have these two zeros. Remember, I can only cross these out if they're two zeros, right? And it's essentially just dividing by 10. After that, I'm just going to start multiplying into the parentheses. So I'm just simplifying this down by multiplying. And then that is actually something I can type right into the calculator. So 36 times 14 over 36. And I notice right off the bat that these 36's are actually going to cancel. And it's just going to leave me with my numerator 14. 14. So L is 14 pi. And they wanted it in terms of pi. So we're going to leave that pi there. Okay. If they asked me to round, they didn't. But if they did, I would just take that answer, hit the times button, second pi. Not negative, enter. And that would have been the answer. But they didn't. They just asked it in terms of pi. And so we're looking for the next one now. We're using that same formula, but this time r is 12 and m is 75. So we're going to do L equals 2 pi times r, which is 12, times 75 over 360. Right? And same steps, just multiplying inside to simplify it down until I can type it into my calculator. And I don't know what this simplifies to, so I'm just going to leave it. Just leave it. Do 24 times 75 over 360. That's going to be 5 pi. That is 5 pi. And then don't forget our units, inches. Units, inches. And if we flip it over, we'll look at number 5 as well. Number 5 asks us to find the area of each sector. The area of each sector. Well, again, we have these same two circles actually. This one has an R of 18 and an M of 140. And this one has an R of 12 and an M of 75. But we're going to use a slightly different formula. We're doing sector area. So we're going to start with the area formula. Area equals pi r squared. And then we're doing the sector or the part. And that's going to be our part formula. Or our part fraction rather. M over 360. But once we get this formula, we just plug in the pieces. That's not bad. Area equals pi 18 squared times 140 over 360. And we're going to go ahead and cancel out those zeros, just like before. And then just type into our calculator 18 squared. That's 324. Alright, we take that, and again, just plug it into the calculator. 324 times 14 over 36. Okay, and I type it in exactly how I see it on the paper. Exactly how it was on the paper. Okay, and that's going to give me 126 pi. 126 pi. And they wanted it in terms of pi, so we're going to leave that like that. and that would be millimeters squared, because it's area. So the units are squared. All right, and then last but not least, over here, we're going to use that same formula, just our r and our m are different. So area equals pi r squared, which in this case is 12, times m over 360. In this case, our m is 75. Well, I know 12 squared, that's just 144. And again, we don't know what 75 over 360 is off the top of our head, so we'll just leave it like that. Then we just do that. 144 times 75 over 360. Right, exactly how we wrote it on the paper. We get 30. 30 pi. They want it in terms of pi. I'm going to leave the pi. And then our units are inches squared. Units are inches squared.